Red Friday Morning Caffeine with Bill Muckler and Dave Goldman. We're live on the Dave Goldman profile on Facebook, the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. I'm not going to send the shares out until after the broadcast. There was a problem last night sharing links on Facebook. Sharing broadcasts on Facebook yesterday, and I'm not quite sure that's fixed yet, so I will post it out immediately after the broadcast. We'll get it out to everybody, I promise. Did you watch the debate, Bill? Vice presidential debate?
Hey, good morning, Dave. Yeah, and I want to talk about that, and we'll get into that in a little bit, right?
Okay.
I guess this is the first thing we always talk about on Friday is Red Friday.
Right.
Remember, everybody deployed, and boy, we got a lot of people deployed right now. Looks like the Navy is covering up the Mediterranean, the Red Sea, the Arabian Sea, every place over there. And I'm not going to mention all the names of everybody that's over there. Take too long. We've got Marine expedition units there, and when the Marines are there, you know something's going to happen. I'm really worried about the fact that our current administration, commander-in-chief, and our Department of Defense is not capable, that they're inept, and I fear for the safety of our troops. But in any case, I would like to mention one. I'd like to mention the Navy of all, and I'd like to mention the USS Cole. Obviously, they're deployed because they shot down some of the missiles that Iran lobbed over at them. I heard the count of 181. May have been as high as around 200. But anyway, our guys and gals, our young people are deployed. They're in harm's way, and I want us to remember them for everything they're doing. Okay.
Yep.
Got that out of the way.
Okay.
Pardon me. That was a terrible choice of words. I meant that I wanted to make sure we mentioned that first, because that's my top priority on Fridays, is remember everybody.
Right. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. And I apologize especially to the people in the Navy, because my grandfather, who's probably rolling in his grave right now, retired as either a chief warrant or a chief petty, whichever one is higher, and I can never remember. And I don't mean it in any disrespect to anyone in the Navy. That is the rank that he retired at. And I'm sure you may even be able to tell me, Bill.
I can tell you, Chief Petty Officer is, we're talking about the higher ranks of the enlisted personnel. Then there's kind of a grade of officers in between enlisted and officers called warrant officers. And in the Navy, it would be like a chief warrant officer. In the Marine Corps, they're called gunners.
Okay.
But I'm sure that that's what your grandfather retired as a chief warrant officer. And they have grades up to, now it's all the way up to 5. So it could be a chief warrant officer 1, 2, 3, 4, which is just escalating in their rank, like going from lieutenant to captain to major to colonel to general type of thing. And they correspond with the pay ranks of officers. And I served with warrant officers in all branches of service, and they're usually the most highly respected and highly competent, highly experienced members of the armed forces, because they've typically spent roughly 20 years or so as enlisted personnel, and they were also hold the rank of officer. So,
When
salute to all of our warrant officers of every branch of the service.
When he could have, on boats or whatever, when it was safe for him to dive off the boat and swim, he would, because he just loved to swim. And I guess this one time he dove off. I don't know if he turned his head the wrong way or was underwater too long. He got water in his inner ear, and because of that, he never made it into the SEALs. But he loved the Navy SEALs. I think that was his goal, but he did serve very well for a very long time. So hats off to the Navy, the warrant officers everywhere.
Okay. Now you ask about Tuesday night. This past Tuesday night on CBS at 9 p.m. Eastern time, Eastern Daylight Savings Time. We haven't gotten to standard time yet. CBS produced the Looney Tunes show. Yeah, it was wonderful. We went out, it took me all the way back to 1940 when I first saw, that Wascally Wabbit and Elmer Fudd appeared on our TV on CBS at 9 p.m. So we had the Looney Tunes hour. And if you think about it, folks, think of this. We had Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd. Think about it. They were right on the stage there, and Bugs Bunny, he's looking straight into the camera like he always does, and he's on top of things. He knows what's going on. He's telling you what's happening, right? And then we got Elmer Fudd, who's the knucklehead, who's the bumbling, inept, whatever, who can't even speak properly. He can't get his W's and his R's and so forth straight. And he's trying to debate with that Wascally Wabbit, who just always wins. Bugs Bunny always wins. So here we have Elmer Fudd on the stage, self-announcing that he is a knucklehead, and getting caught up in all of his misspeaking. So he can't just come out and say, "Look, I lied to you, folks," because that's what they say about Trump. Everything that I looked at on every channel other than Fox and Newsmax was Trump lied, Vance lied, they all lie. That's all they do is lie. They never tell us what the lies are. They just say they lie and we tell the truth. Well, Elmer Fudd on Tuesday night did not tell the truth, and he didn't clear anything up, and he was just bumbling along as Elmer Fudd normally does. So if you watch the debate from that point of view, you really get a pretty good understanding of what's going on in our country today. Now, I had a conversation with some folks about this, and I said, one of the things that came across was, what did Elmer Fudd always have? What did he always have with him?
The shotgun.
Exactly. He was armed. And isn't that exactly what the Democrat Party is, the Marxists? They're the ones with the guns. They're the ones who are armed. They're the ones who want to arrest people. It's not the Republicans. It's not the R's. They have their own problems. But in any case, here's Elmer Fudd with his shotgun, and he's going to get the bad guys, and the bad guy is Bugs Bunny, who really was portrayed by J.D. Vance, and Bugs didn't disappoint. He always came out ahead. I think there's only one episode out of I don't know how many hundreds of episodes they had where Elmer Fudd came out ahead. I guess they had to let him win one.
Yeah.
Sometime way back when. But in any case, that's what we have in our country today. Is we've got, and this kind of leads in. I want to tie this into, and I didn't know if I should, Dave. I didn't know if I should bring this up first before the debate, but since you asked, I thought I'd better. But I'm really very concerned about what's happening to the folks in North Carolina, Tennessee, Georgia,
Yeah.
Florida, and South Carolina. I guess maybe some in Alabama. But in any case, mostly, I guess the worst hit from Hurricane Helene was in that north western corner of North Carolina. And boy, I've worked there as a consultant on several occasions. The Asheville, North Carolina is one of my favorite places. That's where the Biltmore House is, and I kind of wondered. I've been there, and I worked in a factory that was right there on the river, so that's pretty much where the worst of the flooding was. And I think, as I remember correctly, it was the one factory I worked at was just a few miles from the Biltmore House, and I think it was on about the same level elevation. So I'm wondering if the Biltmore House didn't take a lot of damage flooding. They haven't said anything about it, but in any case, that would be a tragedy of its own because of its historic value and everything. But the worst tragedy, of course, is right now. The last I heard was there's been more than 220. I think the last count is 222 people have perished from the floods and from the results of the hurricane. And there's still a lot of people that are missing. We don't know where they are. They're unaccounted for. So that number is going to grow. So that's really bad. And what's really bad about it is, let's get back to Elmer Fudd, this inept group of knuckleheads. The FEMA guys, what do they lie or what? And that's all under Mayorkas. And boy, I've talked about this Mayorkas until I can't talk about him anymore. But he's the guy that's in charge, and he's in hiding. Boy, you don't hear anything about him now. But anyway, they say, well, FEMA's spent all their money. They don't have any money. But then they tell us, well, we've got two separate accounts, and we've already spent the account for disaster relief, but we've got other accounts that we're spending on the taking care of the illegal invaders. These people lie. I mean, they're lying to us, and they're trying to tell us, they're trying to defend the indefensible. They're trying to justify the fact that they spent billions of dollars taking care of illegal invaders, and now they don't have any money to take care of our homeless veterans. They don't have any money to take care of the people in North Carolina and eastern Tennessee. And they tell us it's all, it's how the accounting works. BS on the accounting. You've wasted the money. You pissed it away. And the money is gone. And now what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to figure out how to authorize some new funds to take care of the people we need to take care of, which is our own citizens, our Americans. And let's put Americans first in front of the invaders. Now, I also heard now, there's hundreds of thousands, like a 500,000 or whatever, that are non-detained criminals, and then they got different categories for them. And now the Democrats are saying, well, yeah, but that all happened on Trump's watch. But if you look at the numbers of the people, just to show how they lie and how easy it is to uncover their lies. But the mainstream media will not do that because the mainstream media is part of them.
Right.
Okay. So they say, well, all this happened under Trump, or it happened 40 years ago. But if you look at the statistics of who's been crossing the border, how many's been crossing the border, the big spike in border crossings has been in the last 2 or 3 years, last 4 years, ever since the Biden administration did away with all of Trump's executive orders, like Title 42 and so forth. Catching, now they have catch and release, where with Trump, we caught him and we sent him back. So they're lying to us. So anyway, now they come out with a new number. 1.7 million are in a category called special special something. Let me think now. They got so much BS going on. It's kind of hard to keep track of the BS while you're trying to understand and analyze what's really going on.
Yep.
But they have this special category of 1.7 million that they don't know. They don't know who they are, where they are. Let's face it, folks. They open up the border and they let these people in, and we can't take care of the world. That's not our job. We have to be America first, take care of our own citizens. And did Biden and Harris go in and do anything to help the victims in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene? No.
No, not that I heard of.
They're interviewing people all the time and say they've never seen anybody, haven't heard anybody. So in one case, there's one guy I saw interviewing. He's a veteran. I think he's maybe a Navy SEAL or something, retired Navy SEAL, or one of the special operations guys, rescuing people and trying to find a place for them to put up. And they said, well, you can't put them in the hotel. Our hotels are full. What do you mean they're motels? What do you mean the motels are full? Well, all the FEMA people are in there. And I'm thinking, damn, this is just like Waialua on the island of Maui, when we couldn't take the Hawaiian citizens, our own American citizens who live in Hawaii. We couldn't put them in hotels because the FEMA people were staying in $500 a night hotels. And now they tell us they don't have any money because they piss it all away on all kinds of stuff like lavish places and expense accounts for FEMA people, taking care of illegal invaders. And Dave, it's just disheartening how inept they are. And that's why I drew the analogy of watching that debate. It was like watching the guy who represents the Party, the chief Marxist, Elmer Fudd, otherwise known as Tim Walz. Elmer Fudd was on stage, and it was Looney Tunes because he didn't know anything, didn't know how to say anything, bumbled in his speech, stuttered, everything, had the big wide eyes. I can't even do that. Anyway, what a sad state of affairs our country has gotten into. And the only thing that they can say is everything Trump said was a lie. Everything Trump says is a lie. And really, what it is everything they say is a lie, because that's the best way to deflect your shortcomings onto somebody else's, accuse them of what you're guilty of. So the Marxist Democrats are accusing Trump and Republicans of being liars because they are the liars. They're the ones who do this. And how anybody could vote for them is unbelievable. And speaking of people who vote for them, I see Liz Cheney is campaigning for Kamala.
Kamala.
Yeah, and she's gonna take care of your kids, and she's going to be the mama. And, oh my God, how ridiculous is this? I'm looking for a commander in chief, and what am I getting? I'm
The
sad.
commander, but not in chief.
It's so sad, Dave.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess we've got about 30 or so days to go. I'm probably gonna. I'm really against anything but voting by paper ballots on election day, which is November 5th. But I'm going to be 90 next year, so I'm 89 going on 90, and I have a difficult time standing in lines in one place. I have some blood pressure problems and some artery obstructions, occlusions, and so forth. So I know when to go. I can go to our Avon Park government center. I know just about the right day and the right time to get there where I can just walk in, I can vote, and I can be out of there in 5 or 10 minutes. I'm well prepared. I know all the amendments. I study all this in advance. I know exactly what to do, what's on the ballots. And Dave, I don't know about you, but I'm talking about Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd and the great debate on CBS and everything. But is anybody really influenced by who the vice president is? I've never voted for the vice president,
I,
but
I I don't know if anyone is influenced, but I think what some of the smarter people are thinking is, what happens if something happens to President Trump? Would the country be happy with President Vance, assuming that he's going to carry on in, in the traditions of Donald Trump and what Donald Trump was going to do, as opposed to if Kamala Harris is elected, is Tim Walz even capable of being vice president, let alone becoming president? You know, uh, but I hear all kinds of weird things. This is a Looney Tune thing, I'm sure, as far as you would tell me. People think that maybe it's time that the vice president should be elected, but I keep coming back to them and saying it won't work, because what happens if Donald Trump, a Republican, is elected president and Tim Walz, a Democrat, is elected vice president? And they can't really tell me that. And then I look at people and go, that's why it can't work. Because if the vice president wasn't the president's party, and the president's party needs that one vote in the Senate to break ties. So please tell me that that's a Looney Tunes idea and it can't work, just so that I can get it out of my head and stop trying to think about it.
you're spot on this, Dave. There's no way it can work. Actually, in the first elections going back to 1788, the president and vice president were elected individually, separately. But anyway, they found that was not workable, and that was all changed. So I'm not even thinking about the voting part of it, where the vice president is the head of the Senate. I'm just thinking about everything that goes on. How can you have a cabinet meeting? How can you expect a vice president who's of one party,
Right.
then the president, and expect them to carry out policies, represent you, and represent the country in these various conferences and so forth, like NATO and uh, these different summits and so forth. It just wouldn't work. It's just impossible. I don't know who comes up with these ideas, Dave, because whoever comes up with them, they really have no knowledge at all of the history of our country and how our country works and how it could possibly work and so forth. But anyway, the president and vice president are linked together, and that's the way it is, and it's the only way it could possibly
Right.
work.
It would. That's what I keep trying to tell people, but you get so many people together, and it's just like they start hammering. Well, maybe that's what we should do, and I keep going. Well, if that's what you want to do, it isn't going to work here. It certainly isn't going to work here. Especially,
It's just spending a lot of time and effort on things that are Looney Tunes.
right. Well,
Oh
I
boy.
don't.
So
Yeah.
anyway, Dave, I think we've covered our young men and women who are in harm's way or being deployed. We
Yep.
talked about Hurricane Helene and the damage it's done, and the fact that our current administration has dropped the ball, has not supported the people, and they're telling us they're giving us all kinds of reasons why they don't have the money in the right accounts to take care of the people. And then we talked about the latest debate, the last debate. Apparently, there's not going to be any more. Trump is doing a town hall today in Fayetteville, North Carolina. That's a little bit away from Boone, North Carolina, where Appalachian State College is. That's kind of a tourist attraction. Beautiful area there. They're kind of the ones that got hit the hardest in that area of Northwest North Carolina. And Trump is going to be in Butler, PA tomorrow. He's going back.
You know,
I'm listen.
I know he has to go to where he has to go.
Listen. I think this is outstanding.
Okay.
He's going there, and they have to protect him there. They can't let another incident happen like the first time at Butler. I mean, he's going back there to show that he's the Americans' president. He's not worried. He's not going to back down from anybody that's trying to shoot him or kill him or harm him or do anything like that. To me, I love it. I think going back there is in your face, Marxist.
Yeah. I think you're right. It just scares me that maybe someone on the other side is thinking, well, they didn't. The first, the guy there in Butler didn't take him out, and he died. Maybe I'm the one who can go there and do it. And even worse than that, it just scares me what is going to happen if someone takes him out before the election, because it scares me to think that maybe it's just going to be civil war because you just have people on our side that can't take this anymore, and I don't know. We can't win a civil war against the United States military, correct, Bill?
There's not going to be a civil war, and if there is, the military is not going to be on the side of the Marxists.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I don't even think about.
Right. I know. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's I know it's the ultimate Looney Tunes, because I've been saying for the longest time that I don't think, even with American citizens and militias and all of that stuff, if anyone goes up against the United States military, I just don't think they're going to win. Now, what side the military will be on, I have to assume, is the side of the person who is their commander in chief. But has there ever been, and I don't even know if you can answer this question, has there ever been a military that didn't once follow an order from their commander in chief, regardless of how crazy it is? Looney Tunes. I mean, or is it even Looney Tunes to even ask you that question?
Civil War that we had that started in 1861 through 1865, the North against the South, that was pretty much set. Northern states against southern states. The southern states seceded from the Union. There were generals, Grant, for example, on the north and Lee on the south, and I could name all of the whole bunch of generals. Don't have time for that. Everybody will forget them anyway. But in any case, like the Marine Corps. Who did the Marine Corps fight for in the Civil War? It didn't fight for anybody. Neutral. So this, how can we have a civil war in America? Who's going to fight against who? Am I going to fight against my next door neighbor who's got a Biden sign out in his yard? I don't think so. So anyway, that's just not going to happen. It's just a lot of people think of crazy things all the time, and I just can't see how it could possibly happen.
Is it time to do something with FEMA? Because I heard something in a broadcast before I went on that evidently FEMA really doesn't seem to have, whether or not they have money, they just don't seem to be that interested in putting money out to take care of.
FEMA has pissed away all of their money on illegal invaders, housing, and luxury hotels.
Right.
That's where it's gone.
Right. I mean,
and FEMA, you got to remember now, Department of Homeland Security under Alejandro Mayorkas, number one guy, cabinet member, reports directly to Biden.
Yeah.
Takes his orders from Biden, passes them on down.
Yeah.
He is the guy that's in charge of the Secret Service, the FBI,
yep,
the FEMA, all those organizations, the Marshals, the U.S. Marshals, all of them, Secret Service, are all under the Department of Homeland Security, all under Mayorkas. He's laying low. They're wasting away all of their money on illegal invaders, and let's face it, no other country would ever do anything like we're doing because they couldn't absorb it. But we can do it because we can just keep printing false money, and that brings out inflation. And hey, that reminds me, one thing, economics. Gosh darn it. Why are our politicians so inept when it comes to economics? It's like economics is a foreign language to them. So I hear them say, because Trump says he's going to put tariffs on goods and, like automobiles manufactured in Mexico. If you want to make your automobiles in Mexico and you're going to bring them across our border, we're going to put a tariff on them. And people say, "Oh, tariffs are inflationary." Bullshit. Tariffs are not inflationary. And they say, well, all the experts, all the economists, all et cetera, say tariffs are inflationary. No, what's inflationary is the amount of money that's put into the economy in relationship to the actual value of the economy. It's got nothing to do with tariffs. It's not nothing to do with anything. And by the way, thank God that port strike has been resolved. It got 62.5% increase. Well, I don't know about that. But in any case, in the United States, going back to 1913, see, nobody is studying any of this stuff, and it just boggles my mind. It upsets me so much that we have so many people talking about stuff that they're completely ignorant of. They have no idea what they're talking about. They come up with this crazy crap, and then the politicians, they're saying, the Democrats, because Trump said he's going to put tariffs on, they're saying, oh, that's inflationary. Back in 1913, we ratified. Some people say we haven't ratified it. I'm questioning that myself. The 16th Amendment, which was to implement the income tax. Prior to that, we didn't have tax people on people's income. So how did we raise money to operate and fund the government? How did we do that? Nobody knows, because they haven't studied anything, because history is foreign to them.
I mean, I'm sure that the answer has to be somewhat simply they taxed everything else.
No, no.
Okay, then how did we do it?
No, that's not true. Tariffs. That's how
Okay,
we
yeah,
funded our government, on tariffs.
that
And
would
at
make
that time, there was zero inflation. There was I mean, right there is a practical history lesson of why tariffs do not cause inflation. But I've heard people say, well, you know, every expert and every economist say this. So I'm saying, well, I'm calling every one of them BS, because that's not true.
yeah.
That's not what inflation is. And they say, well, inflation, look at it. It's inflation was 1.4% when Trump was in, and then went up to 9.1 when Biden took over. That's really not inflation either. That's the consumer price index. The consumer price index is how much stuff is cost to purchase. Now, inflation will cause the consumer price increase to elevate. There's no question about it.
Right.
But so many people don't have a clue about economics or how it works or anything, and they won't take the time to study it.
Yep.
They come up with these Looney Tunes ideas, or they repeat something they heard, or if Trump said it, they're going to say the opposite is true.
Well, let me challenge you with one. David Fowler, who has just started watching the broadcast and is said to be a smart guy, and as he said, he's a history buff. He says the income tax was to support World War II. No, excuse me, World War One. My glasses are not quite cleared in this morning, but World War One. It was never meant to stay in place, so it was supposed to, I guess, pay back the king or whoever the banks, whoever we borrowed the money from. Well, it wasn't the king, to pay back the banks. And then once we did that, it was supposed to go away. True or not? But also, before you answer, I'm sure everybody understands that once a government starts taxing you on something, it's very hard to make it go away. Look at toll roads around the country. They always say once they pay themselves back for building the roadway and then maybe a little bit of profit to operate it in the future, the tolls will go away. And of course, they never do. So
what he said is partially true.
Okay.
The income tax was put into law, into effect, by the 16th Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America back in 1913. World War I didn't start until 1914, when Archduke Ferdinand was shot in Sarajevo, Yugoslavia, Croatia at that time, Serbia. So we did not enter the war until 1916. So if the income tax was ratified and put into effect to fund the World War I, which we got into in 1916, how did we do that in 1913? We got a 3-year gap there. So anyway, that's all. The political rewriting history and everything is all involved in this. So whatever your viewers said was partially true, because the income tax was supposed to be a cap of 7% for the wealthiest and a cap, and a maximum of 1% for working people. When people were against us, the people didn't want it. But when World War I started back in 1916, they said, well, we have this money, we can fund World War I with it, but when World War I is over, we'll get rid of the income tax. Well, we know what happened. We didn't get rid of the income tax. So our viewer is correct in a sense, but not historically, he's going by the rewritten history by the Marxists, and that's not exactly true because it's all part of the politicians who lie and lie and lie, and they lied back in 1913 and 1916 and 1918, just like they're lying right now. And they're rewriting history, and our people don't understand what's happening. But if you just look at it from a common sense point of view, how could we have ratified an Amendment 16 in 1913 when we didn't get into the war until 1916, that didn't even start until 1914? Okay.
Yep. The answer, folks, is you have to buy the 2020 books from Bill Muckler because he explains this in the books.
Yeah, it's all in there.
It's all
I'm not saying I'm the smartest guy in the world, but I was talking to my son.
You're
And
one
I
of them.
shouldn't have said this, but I said, I'm really kind of wondering where our country's going, because we got a pair that's run for president and vice president on the Marxist side of the aisle, that their combined IQ is not as great as mine is. And he said, well, I guess he thought, I was maybe exaggerating a little bit, and maybe I am. By the way, IQ is a pretty good way, intelligence quotient is a pretty good way of judging someone's intelligence or capability of learning, gathering knowledge, and understanding facts and statistics and all that kind of stuff. The average IQ for the United States is, guess what? 97 point something percent, or they're in the 97 percentile. 100 is even average. We're 29th in the world. Japan's number one. They're about 106 average IQ.
But
I don't know what we're going to do about that.
They go to school 24 hours a day. They sit at a desk and learn how to take weapons apart.
Yeah, but that doesn't have anything to do with the intelligence quotient. That the intelligence quotient is how intelligent you are, not the skills that you have or the skills you're developing or the way you learn how to do different tasks and so forth. Intelligence has got nothing to do with that. We can teach monkeys to
this is true.
Put stuff together and take it apart, if we're patient enough and we got the right teachers. Anyway, now all this is available online, you can check all this out. Here's something I find interesting. The normal range of IQ runs from about 84 to 116. Biggest majority of the people fall within those IQ levels, 84 to 116, with 100 being the middle, the average, the mean, whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
Okay. That's the biggest majority of the people. That's like somewhere around 70% of the population falls in that category. Now, if you go down the list and look at various countries, you'll find that, like Guatemala, the average IQ is like 47. In Honduras and El Salvador, it's like in the 50s and 60s. 84 is to 116 is where the biggest majority of the people in the world are. And they're the people who are able to actually learn and gather knowledge and skills and so forth. And who are we letting into this country? We're bringing into this country not only the people who are the criminals, the rapists, we're bringing in the lowest IQ people into our country.
Yeah.
How and they're invading our country, and we're saying, well, they just want to have a place to work. They want to have a place to be safe.
Dumbification of America.
Fix your own damn neighborhood, your own damn country.
Right.
Stay out of ours.
Right. Yeah, it's not.
Hey, Dave.
It's not coming for the American dream anymore. As like when my great grandfather came, somewhere between 1900 and 1905. I don't remember exactly. He left Prussia, Russia, Poland. The border kept changing all the time because of the wars and everything. But he left, and he came with his sons and his stepdaughter and my great grandmother, and they came here for they were Jewish. They came here for a better life, and I think they got that. But they all went to school. They all got trades.
But they came and applied for citizenship. They didn't rush the border.
Oh, you're 100% right. They didn't just walk.
And we have 10-step naturalization procedures. I've got it all in my book. I got a whole chapter on immigration, how it all works, how it can be better. There's still the opportunity for people to immigrate into this country legally, not invade us by rushing through the borders. Wading across the river is the way you become a resident of a country, by wading across a river. I mean, that's insane. That's stupid.
You see the videos of like families coming in with like names that they couldn't pronounce, and the border or the immigration people go, "No, your new name is Joe Jones." My great grandfather came in and said his name was Abraham Glovinsky, and they said, "Boom, welcome to America."
Now, there's something else I noticed. One of the Fox reporters showed a handful of passports and IDs that he's been collecting along the border, because what they do is when they come across the border, the first thing they do is they discard their passport or their ID, get rid of it, so nobody can track them.
Right.
That's why we don't have any idea who these people are.
Right.
Hey, Dave, it's getting kind of late.
Yeah, I know. I'm
sorry. I have to go.
We had
I hope that
we lost 15, 20 minutes. I apologize for that.
Yeah, with a little technical difficulty. I got to hand it to Dave. He kind of came through. He persevered and worked this whole thing out. I was on about 9:45, and there was nothing I could do to help him, because I've also got had a Restream account, and it was directing me to that one.
Yeah,
he wouldn't let me go to Dave's account. So anyway, he persevered, got it set. So
it was a quick bug. We got it.
We're good.
All right, Bill, next Friday?
I'm going to hope that I can be here next Friday. Okay. I'll see everybody then. I hope that I'll have something that I can add to. God bless you all for watching. God bless America.
All right, Bill. Always a pleasure. Let's see. We did manage to get. Looks like we got some of the broadcast shared into groups today. I don't know what happened with the Thursday Night Live last night. I woke up this morning and it looked like every upload while we were on yesterday or share, as I call it, upload as Facebook calls it, did not go through. I don't know why. In the process of clearing that up, I unfortunately managed to delete the broadcast that showed that we actually had 1,000 people watched it live, 300 people watched it after. I woke up this morning with 1,300 people watching it. I will go through Restream and take it and put it in because it was Jerry Michaels, it was Randy Rhodes, and myself, and we had a great broadcast. We even at times talked about others that have, individually and collectively, and I'm just here to do what I do, and we do it very simply here on Boogie with the Bull. We turn the mics on, we turn the cameras on, and we just talk. We talk with you in the live streams, in the live chats. We talk with you, with people on the broadcast, and that's all we do. David Fowler says, got to run, he's got to take care of some business. I apologize. My eyes are just not quite 100% focused this morning. I will look for you later, brother. God bless you and everyone. David, we will be on the American Rebellion tonight with, I hope, Randy Rhodes, Jen Woodruff, maybe Darrell Rector will pop in. Really would like to see Robert Lawless, the Minnesota Madman. If you're out there and you see this, Robert, pop in. Anybody else that may have been on it, pop in. The more the merrier, because the more of us, you hear different views from all of us, and the more of you watching, we hear different views from all of you, and that's just the way it goes. The American Rebellion is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern here on the American Rebellion group, the American Rebellion blogger page, the Gerard K. Michaels page, I believe, but don't quote me. The live chat is on the American Rebellion blogger page, I believe. That's the one that I believe he monitors. I don't know. He may monitor more than one. When we do Boogie with the Bull broadcasts, we only monitor my profile and the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. Yes, we do have the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. People that are on Facebook go over and watch videos every once in a while. When we're on, they get a notice that we're on, and we're there with the live chat. I tell people maybe, one day watch it on the Facebook live chat. It's busier than the YouTube live chat, but watch it on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and on the live chat over there, and bring your friends over there. The only time we actually had to use it seriously was once there was a bug or something. I don't remember. We couldn't live stream on Facebook. I don't remember whose fault it was. I don't believe it was Facebook's fault, but we couldn't live stream on Facebook for a week. So we did it on YouTube. But you hear everybody all the time saying we're going to expand to this one, and we're going to leave this one, and then we're going to expand to that one, and we're going to leave this one. No. Right now we have three destinations we can be on at once. We're using two: my profile, Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. Third one's up in the air. It could be Wimkin some days. It could be Rumble some days. It is what it is. What I always say I'm going to do one of these days is I'm going to buy a desktop, and I'm going to do what my friend J.J. McCartney used to do. J.J. used to get up every morning, and I think he used StreamYard. He would set up his studio on StreamYard. He would link it to his YouTube channel. He would have a continuous loop going if anybody went over there until he was going to start. And then he would come over to Facebook, and he would share the link in like 500 or 600 groups here on Facebook. That was the old days. You really can't always do that every day here on Facebook anymore. Just share it the best that you can and send it off of Facebook if you feel so inclined. If you're off of Facebook, take it off of Facebook. I don't really care. Take it off of YouTube and share it wherever you go off of Facebook. And if you do, let me know Some places, if you take it from the YouTube channel, the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel, it depends on some places. If you post it, they will actually be able to use the YouTube live chat. If we post it on StreetLock, like I like to every day, but I just need more time to set up that each day to do it. But if we post it on StreetLock, those people get the access to the YouTube live chat. I believe they're not supposed to, but they do. If we put it on Wimkin and we do it the right way, they get access to the YouTube live chat. There's something called Facebook API, and Facebook API is the link that works with all of the live streamers, Restream, StreamYard, OBS, all the other ones, and it decides whether or not you'll see Facebook live chat on your broadcast. And to me, it's the most important part of the broadcast. So come and watch. Awesome. I mean, come and watch as you can. Monday and Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern, it's Randy Rhodes and us. And we mainly talk about current politics plus whatever comes out of our mouths. Tuesday, Thursday, it's politics and what comes out of our mouths. Randy usually brings the current news. Sometimes other people do. And I'm going to try to get the broadcast from Restream and put it back up on Facebook on my profile. I can't guarantee that you'll see that we had 1,000 people watching or that we had 1,300 views total before I knocked it off by mistake. I'm really sorry about it. It was really good broadcast. When Jerry Michaels is on, when it's Jerry and I, they're really good broadcasts. When it's Jerry and I and Randy, they're really good broadcasts. Jerry's just a pleasure to have on. Randy's a good guy to have on too. So tonight, like I said, it's the American Rebellion on the American Rebellion blogger page on Facebook, the American Rebellion page over on Wimkin, both with live chats. And that's where we will be tonight. Tomorrow is Saturday. We're going to do a rare Boogie with the Bull Saturday, somewhere between 10 a.m. and 12 noon. We're going to do it. I haven't really decided yet. Just for the heck of it and being able to do it, because it's 30 days before the election, and we just got to get thoughts into your head so that you start thinking about who you're going to vote for. Again, I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. You can be registered American neo-Nazi and vote for their candidate. You can be registered American political party and vote for Jonathan Thomas, Jonathan Alexander. You see him all over. Jonathan Bailey. You see the names all over Facebook. Go to the American Political Party Facebook page, and you'll actually see his actual name that he's using as a candidate. I don't know if he's on any state ballots, but my point is, you register and vote for whoever you want, or decline to mention and be an independent, whatever you can. But the point is, if you're over 18, register and vote, because that is the only thing you have left. Okay? Death and taxes. You're born to pay taxes, and you're going to die and stop paying taxes. But you're born to vote. The news of the day, the important news of the day is, if your home was destroyed beyond being able to rebuild, and BlackRock comes talking to you because they want the lithium under your property, hey, if it's going to give you enough to build the home that you want, maybe you have to do it. But make sure you get the price. No more of this. You can't sell the mineral rights. Sell the property. BlackRock's going to make sure they get the mineral rights. So you make sure, if they approach you, that you get yours. Or just fix it and figure out a way to get it harvested up yourself. I don't know. Be very careful, because it's very dangerous to do. But my concern isn't so much that BlackRock is going to harvest as much lithium domestically here in the United States as they can. My question is what they're going to do with it when they do. They're going to put it on boats and send it to China, screw the United States out of it, that's wrong. You're going to sell it to people here in the United States that can use it and build car batteries and watch batteries and computer batteries and phone batteries. And, I don't really care that people here in the United States of America need, then I support that 100%. Okay. Again, we have farmland all over this country. I think it's something like 368,000 acres of farmland that is owned by the Chinese Communist Party that they're not doing anything on. Why? Because they don't want to feed you. They don't want to grow it here and feed you. They'll force us into buying high-priced bad stuff from them. And as I threw in, I'm glad that it looks like that they will settle the port strike and both sides will get back to work doing the work that they need to do and deal with any automation that is going to come up. I don't care who you want to slap. AI technology itself was not a bad thing, but how it's going to be used may be a bad thing. If it's going to take everybody out of work, then it may not be the right thing. It may not be the right thing. It's not the right thing. If it's going to help us, if American families can get back to working a 40-hour work week at a decent wage, and then when they go home at night, AI technology works the third shift, and, that may not be such a bad thing. It'd be nice to be able to get back to working a 40-hour week and not having to work a 160 million hour week to pay your bills and enjoy your life. Or go off and buy that Jeep Commando pickup truck or the Tesla Cybertruck. I mean, I don't care. This is the United States of America. If you want a Tesla Cybertruck, go out and buy one. Okay? Go out and buy one if you really want one. I think you're kind of crazy. If I was still driving right now, I would be driving whatever we had when I was driving, and I would be looking for a Mercedes-Benz 450 SEL to put back together and just enjoy, because that was what I wanted when I had my transportation business, and when I had to put it on ice, I still hadn't bought it. But anyway, that's just me, so go off and enjoy your weekend. Make sure you catch the American Rebellion tonight, 5 p.m., the American Rebellion blogger page here on Facebook, the American Rebellion page over on Wimkin. If you want Rumble, pressure Jerry, and maybe he'll get back to Rumble very quickly. I really don't know. For me, we're going to be looking at Wimkin and Rumble, not necessarily in that order, but Wimkin or Rumble will be the next one that we add. Or from time to time, we'll just switch between each one of them. We're not here to make money. We're just here to reach people and get you thinking. So maybe David Fowler will be on tonight. That would be great. And just go over and tell Jerry that you want to be on, and he'll see how many people he can fit on. I'm sure he'll get on the people that he can. He's doing really, really well. Views are picking up over there. That makes me very happy. So if you like today's broadcast, Red Friday Morning with Bill Muckler and myself, please take it and share it all over Facebook. Put it on your profile. Put it in all the groups that you think it should be in. If you want to take it off of Facebook and share it from Facebook if you want. I don't care. I prefer you go to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel when you want to share it off of Facebook and share it. And I hope that you do, just like you share it here. We'll have a little bit better luck sharing the broadcast today, Red Friday Morning. It looks like those shares did actually make it out and got shared around Facebook. I don't know what happened. It just said upload error. So I don't know if I tried to send too many of them to Facebook last night. I don't know. As I was clearing them up, by accident, I knew I would end up deleting the broadcast. But like I said, I will look through StreamYard, not StreamYard, look through Restream, the library here, and if I have it, I will send it back to Facebook if I can, just so that you can watch it. Not upset that it, like I said, that it got deleted from Facebook, showing that 1,300 people had seen it. That just tells us that people are watching us. Facebook is helping us. Maybe Facebook can help me and find a copy of it with 1,300 people watching and put it back on Facebook for me. I don't know. Anyway, time to feed the dog, time to feed the cat, time to feed me. Take a swig of coffee and go get this weekend started. Monday morning, well, actually, like I said, Saturday morning, look for a rare Saturday morning boogie with the bull. Hopefully Randy Rhodes can be here with the news, and anybody else who just wants to share and talk can be here as well. Maybe even the dogs will be here. Delilah looks like she's still sleeping. We're going to get her up and give her brunch. So I thank all of you that watched. Let me see if I can go to my profile and get some good news before we go. Yeah, we do this, we slide down, we go there, we come back in, we go down here. It says 18 and 35 shares, so maybe it will pick up. Hopefully it'll double 36, maybe a little bit higher. It's important. It really is important to me that we get Red Friday Morning out with Bill Muckler and I. Smart guy, a retired Marine captain, an entrepreneur, an author. Everybody knows he wrote the 2020 books, 2020 A Clear Vision for America, 2020 A Clear Vision for Our Future. Talks about getting rid of the Department of Education in Washington, D.C., the DOJ in Washington, D.C., the IRS in D.C., and a lot of other D.C. that just doesn't need to be there anymore. And your taxes will go down because there won't be an IRS. I don't know. Maybe he's right. Maybe tariffs can fund the government as long as the countries that owe us the tariffs are paying the tariffs. And if they're not paying the tariffs, then they don't bring their stuff in here anymore. And we start making stuff here in America again. And we start shipping stuff out in America again. We get the Keystone XL pipeline finished, backed up and running. We start pulling as much oil as we can out of the ground here. We bring our gas prices down. Gas prices at BJ's in Jacksonville, Florida, $2.79.9. So you can call it $2.79, you can call it $2.80, whatever you want to call it. As far as I'm concerned, it's a lot cheaper than the $2.93 a gallon it was when we moved here 3 years ago. And Donald Trump did it once before. He can do it once again. Can it stay that way in 2028 when he retires and hopefully J.D. Vance takes over and continues? Probably. But if we lose in 2024, if we lose next month, we may not be back in 2028. And that's not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. Everyone knows we have a 12-year-old grandchild. Here we have a almost 3-year-old grandchild and granddaughter. In other words, not 3 years old, 4 months granddaughter. She's going to be 62 someday. She's still going to be paying off debt from my life. And I don't want that. You don't want that. I'm still going to tell you that homeschooling is best if you can do it. It really is. It really is. It really is. And, it just really is. It just really is. Seize control of reading, writing, arithmetic, and the sciences and other things that your children need to learn. Teach them. embrace some religion if that's what you need to do. That's between you and God. And live well and prosper. So I will say you have been watching Boogie with the Bull Red Friday Morning Caffeine with Bill Muckler and Dave Glowman, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. It looks like you will be able to see that in the few Facebook groups that we did a test share this morning. As soon as I can get Thursday Night Live back onto my profile, I will share it out. And if you watched it yesterday, please, just come tag it again. I really want Facebook to see that we had 1,000 people watching. We had 300 extra people that had watched it this morning. And it's not just a matter of being able to brag and say we had 1,300 people watch. It's being able to brag and say to Facebook, we had 1,300 people watch. And if we could have 1,300 people watch between the night before and the next morning, 1,300 people watching a week, on both of them, that's 2,600 people watching a week. We're doing something right, and we should be allowed to stay here and keep doing it forever. And if we're doing it right here, then maybe we just do it other places as well and be fantastically successful. But I think we are successful. But anyway, I'm Dave Glowman. You're not. Thank you for the privilege of letting me abuse your time. We're going to slide up here. Double V.